When I was really young, I remember I was always very unhappy. My mother she was 15 when she had me. We lived in a small city, and the community raised me. We moved to Houston. It affected me greatly to be torn away from the community that was around me, that was, sustaining me at the time. And I didn't really recover from it. I fell into a really deep depression at a super young age. And so whenever I got to high school age, I did everything I could to try to find a place in this world. And the way that I found a place in this world was with a boyfriend. And the boyfriend that I found was super abusive. I stayed with him for like 2 years. That just compounded my story and my twisted view of life in general. The first drug that I tried was meth, and I got taken on this wild ride. I was just exposed to this just really crazy underworld of people, places, and things. The different gangs that I was associated with would expose me to the porn industry and webcam and stuff like that. I got mixed up with this guy who was like, I want to, take care of you. And he was a drug dealer, but everyone I knew was some sort of drug dealer or gang member. So that was the farthest thing from my mind. And so he took me far away from any of the people I knew, and just listened to me and seemed to care about all, he just really focused a lot of attention on me, and he looked at me in my eyes and just acted really like he cared about me. And it was weird. It was not like anything I'd ever experienced before. A year and a half later, he turned me out and ended up forcing me to have sex for money. And I was with him for 5 years. I was desperately in love with him. It was really, really sickening. I didn't realize that I was being trafficked at the time. Nobody told me I was being trafficked. I knew I was in an abusive relationship. I knew I was in a bad situation, but he was really good at convincing me that I chose that life, and plus I was addicted to these drugs and he was getting them for me. He would use different things to probe me. Sometimes it would be, if I got real combative, it would be I could just get the cartel on you and they will kill you. You know that so-and-so or so-and-so, what happened to them. Or I had many times sat on just on the street corner and just cried out to God for something to change. And I just wanted some kind of help, and I didn't really know how to ask for help or how to cry out to God. I just knew that something needed to be different.
We are the longest running residential program in the state of Texas, and one of the longest running programs in the country, as we provide residential care through a trauma-informed holistic approach to ensure recovery of survivors of sex trafficking. When Megan first arrived, of course, she was very scared, unsure of herself, unsure of the world around her. And so through Redeem's program, through our staff and through our volunteers, Megan was able to really explode into this amazing young woman and grow in such a way that was just incredible to see her blossom the way she did. There are 4 parts to holistic healing. There's relational and emotional healing, physical healing, and spiritual healing. And the 5th element of healing that really has to occur, and a lot of the women don't get this, is justice healing. And so I think that's really one of the things that makes the Joseph Project stand out for me, is they were able to provide that 5th element of healing of the justice for a lot of these women who had justice really stolen from them.
So Megan actually had a number of charges over 3 counties here in Texas at the hands of men who took advantage of her. And they were very serious. Most of them were felony possession of a controlled substance, some possession of marijuana, a misdemeanor theft, and then other various charges involving drugs where she was arrested, but the charges never actually turned into convictions. It was kind of a lot to undertake as an attorney to go through each individual case, determine whether it was eligible to be removed from her record, if so, how that process might go, and then of course, follow the process in different counties across the state of Texas, which each county has a different process for removing cases from a record. So we were able to eliminate from her criminal record 11 cases. There is one case that's still pending because she has to wait a certain period of time by statute to have it removed. No doubt it will be removed, but the time that needs to elapse has not occurred yet.
So it just gives me a new lease on life. It gives me a new opportunity to be who I am without having to attach my story to it. It gives me a new identity. The Joseph Project has given me a new life. It's not even real. Amazing. I'm not tied down. It feels good.